Coming up on Cowboys Special Edition, we'll hear from Kavon Frazier, the team's hard-hitting safety, whose impact has earned him an additional role on defense. Defensive tackle Luis Neal was activated from the practice squad in November and explains why he's seeing more playing time. There were smiles all around this past week as the Cowboys made their annual Christmas visit to area children's hospitals. And it's off to New York as the Cowboys face a Giants team that is taking their cues from a new interim head coach. All that and more coming up on Cowboys Special Edition, brought to you by AT&T. The Cowboys game in New York this week begins a very important four-game stretch. Those games will solve the team's postseason dreams and make them a playoff team or not. Once again, December has become the most important month of the year.
I think the big thing is, is learning, how to get through things when you don't have key players. And I think we've got to continue to do a better job of that. Now, we've done it before. Last year was a perfect example. We lose Tony in the preseason. Dak steps up, and we go on to have one of our best seasons in franchise history in terms of regular season records. So we've done it.
At 6-6, Dallas faces an uphill battle to reach the postseason. At this stage, it appears their best hope is to win out and also get some help along the way.
It's great. I mean, it's just playoffs starting now. Simple as that. You've got to embrace it if you play this game and you don't love that. If you don't love that fact that your back's against the wall and it's about what you do every week or every day that pays off on Sunday. That's what makes this game fun.
The Cowboys' win over the Redskins last week rejuvenated the team and ended a downward spiral that had lasted 3 games. It's created new hope and incentive for the stretch run.
I mean, that was big. We needed that. Get back on track. We got 4 games, finish the 4th quarter strong, and see what happened from there.
We never lost confidence. We kept coming to work. We kept fighting. Things didn't go our way those 3 games in a row. So it paid off last week and hopefully this week.
As a franchise, Dallas has never missed the playoffs after getting 10 wins. Winning out would get them to that number. Still, there are no guarantees, even though it has happened 8 times before in team history.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me want to win out, definitely. But I didn't know the situation. I just know I want to go into every game and win it. But I didn't know if there was a chance that something else happens, like there always is. But I mean, we want. That was our goal, anyways. We don't ever want to go into a week losing. So definitely, go in there head first and try and get this done.
Last year, the Cowboys won 11 games in a row, but this year, Dallas has not come close to matching that record run. In fact, the longest winning streak the team has managed this year is 3. That happened in weeks 7 through 9.
I think we've just got to continue to see who our core guys are going to be as we head down the stretch, and I think we can see that and where our future is going to lie. I really like the foundation of this football team in terms of Dak and Zeke and this offensive line and some of the young players that we're putting together on the defensive side of the football. I think our future is very bright.
After the Thanksgiving Day game against the Chargers, the Cowboys coaching staff started to feel heat from the fans, wondering how a 13-3 team could fall into a 3-game rut. All that changed after a dominating win over Washington.
Well, I look at the full body of work on everything. I mean, you look at Coach Garrett's full body of work, obviously Coach of the Year last year. Staff did an amazing job. They had this team in great shape at the halfway point at 5-3, and really they're headed up. And then, we've hit some bumps here, but we don't evaluate guys game by game or take a hard look and say, hey, we need to change our mind now. Certainly at the end of the season, we'll evaluate the full body of work, including ourselves, and see what direction we need to go. But right now we're focused game by game, week by week, and trying to get back in the hunt.
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. The Salvation Army, doing the most good. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. It's your ticket for a chance to win big.
Pirine bounces it out to the left to the 50, and a tremendous hit flying up from the secondary for Kavon Frazier.
Cowboys safety Kavon Frazier has always had a reputation for being a big hitter, and lately that part of his game has been on vivid display.
Toss left to Pirine at the 50. There's an open field tackle for Kavon Frazier. What a night he's having.
Against the Redskins, a second-year safety from Central Michigan played one of the best games of his career, expanding his role from special teams to becoming a contributor on defense.
Yeah, I definitely would say I'm definitely more comfortable, definitely learning the system. It's still a lot to be learned, but it's definitely a growth from last year. And just playing fast, you know, when you know everything, what's going on, and do a lot of studying, it allows me to play fast, and that's definitely what, you know, I think I did last game.
Frazier finished the Washington game with 6 tackles, including 1 for a loss in the third quarter against running back Samaje Perine.
It's the second rounder, 60th overall pick, tossed to Perine. Can't get out to Trent Williams, blocked because it was read by Kavon Frazier, the second-year man coming up to make the play.
It was a game where his plays certainly caught the attention of head coach Jason Garrett.
Kavon really took advantage of the opportunity that he got, and you know, you said he's a physical tackler. His presence is felt out there. He didn't play a perfect game by any means, but he certainly played with confidence and played the right way. And he'll learn from some of the things that weren't up to standard. But he's a physical guy who loves to play, and oftentimes that can be contagious throughout your defense. And like I said, he certainly made his presence felt out there with some of the big hits that he made.
Watching from the bench, running backs coach Gary Brown was just as impressed.
What I tell you I was going to do. And then I been had that hitman. I been had the hitman. And hey, that's the hitman for real. I'm the new enforcer.
Yeah, you know, as a safety, you know, I take pride of being an enforcer out there and really delivering the wood. So yeah, I would definitely say it's a new enforcer.
Until now, Frazier's biggest contributions have been on special teams, where he leads the team in tackles. The Cowboys have downed the punt inside an opponent's 20-yard line 28 times. That's third in the league. Dallas also leads the league in both average return yardage and total returns. In the last game, it was Frazier who downed the ball at the goal line with 1 foot less than an inch from the goal line.
Yeah, I might have had an inch, half an inch to spare. I took the jump. I don't even know why I jumped, but I felt I was, you know, I felt I had some room. And when I looked down after I landed, luckily I stuck the landing, so I give that a 10. But when I looked down after the landing, my foot was like really close, and it was like I had to have a sigh of relief after that, because you know, if I would have landed on that line, I probably would have looked crazy.
Hey, great job fighting through it. Great hit. Great job.
In October, it was Frazier who set the tone against the 49ers by forcing a fumble on the team's first punt of the day.
That's one of those examples that, you know, I was talking about, that punt can really change the game. And Wilbur won this past game when he knocked the fumble out. That was a tremendous play by him, just getting that ball out. I don't know how he did it, but somehow he got that ball out, and you know, that definitely changed the game.
Frazier's name is on this year's Pro Bowl ballot as a special teams player, an honor he's very proud of. He's joined on the list by teammates Dan Bailey and Chris Jones.
I was definitely pretty excited, but like I said, it's a whole team that make that happen.
Fair catch called by Peterson. It bounces behind him and is killed by Kavon Frazier at the 3-yard line.
Yes, there is a vote. Y'all got to vote. Special teams player. You know, I really would appreciate y'all vote.
And it is caught by Thomas at the 10, and he's drilled backwards. Wow, what coverage. Outstanding coverage from Kavon Frazier.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. It's your ticket for a chance to win big. This segment is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas.
Last month, Cowboys defensive tackle Luis Neal saw a dramatic change in his career. The former LSU Tiger had been on the Cowboys practice squad since the beginning of the season, But that all changed when November rolled around.
First off, it's a blessing to even get the opportunity to show what I've been doing in practice and just translating into the game and, just, doing what I'm supposed to do when somebody come out, keep the ball rolling and go in and, contribute to this defense and help this defense be great.
Neal saw his first game action against the Falcons on November the 11th. It was his first chance to get a taste of real game action since the preseason.
Yeah, he's played very well. I mean, he's done a nice job in there. Strong in the run. I mean, he's a load. I mean, he's a powerful man. Good length. So I just kind of, and it's one thing is, men earn reps now through game reps. In training camp, you got pads in preseason, so you can make judgments that way. Once the season starts, it's all about game reps, and so that's why you give men opportunities to rotate in and see where they're at, and so you get a chance to earn some more reps.
I mean, when you put it on film, I mean, that's your resume. So I really didn't feel like it was a difference from preseason to now. It's just, it's all football. You just go out there and follow your keys and do your job, and your resume and show. So that's your business card, your film. So when you go out there, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Neal started to build his resume and showed great upside back during the preseason when he recorded 2 tackles for losses plus a sack. The Cowboys signed him as an undrafted free agent.
You keep forgetting he's a rookie because his personality is not that way. Seems like he's about 40 years old. And no, I mean, just a very mature, really mature, quiet, hard-working guy. So this is the way you build depth in your defense, you give men opportunities. Sometimes that's not a good thing. Some guy goes out and wants opportunity and you don't do well, but that's risk and reward.
As his time on the field increased, Neal has been trying to learn as much as possible. He seeks advice from his teammates and even former Cowboys center Andre Gerard.
He teaches us a lot because from an offensive lineman's perspective, like he teaches us a lot of what they're gonna do, so we know what to do off of what they're gonna do, and so that helps us out a lot. And he really has helped me a ton as far as pass rush and just hand placement and what you can do counter-wise off of an offensive lineman, or what they give you, because he played it and he was a great.
Neal also says his experience at LSU was invaluable, where he learned how to play more than just one position. A change from the 4-3 to the 3-4 defense his senior season hurt his stats and may have affected his contract, but he feels he has become a better player because of it.
Obviously, my stats went down as sacks-wise, and but the benefit coming out of it is I learned 2 different schemes and learned a lot of things, even though it hurt, the money side and the pocket side, but other than that, I know I'll make it back up anyway.
Neal was a highly recruited athlete from James B. Hunt High School in Wilson, North Carolina. It was there that he first dreamed about playing in the NFL someday, thanks to the players he idolized.
Julius Peppers, Trent Cole, and the reason why Julius Peppers is from Nash County, right down the street from me, so my high school is like a rival to his high school that he went to, so idolizing him. It's crazy that he's still in the league, and I got an autograph from him when I was in elementary school.
This segment was brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
For the past 29 years, the Cowboys have dedicated at least one day from their busy holiday schedule to visit kids at children's hospitals in North Texas.
Go Cowboys!
That day took place last week when the team had an extra day off following a Thursday night game. Their visit to Cook Children's Medical Center in Fort Worth included defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence.
It's great, just to see the joy and the smiles on the kids' face. It means a lot to us. So I appreciate the hospital for bringing us in, the Dallas Cowboys for letting us come out here and enjoy this presence with the kids. It's just crazy, all the gifts that they want for Christmas. Some of them just want a lot, some of them just want a little, and just to see the smiles, it's just meant a lot to us. So we're thankful.
It's been a fun experience. I think for us, for those who have been as blessed and as fortunate as we are, it kind of puts things into perspective. It really puts just that into perspective. So being able to mingle with the kids and their families, you know, thus far today has been great.
3 other children's hospitals in Dallas were also part of their visits, including Texas Scottish Rite Hospital for Children, Medical City Children's Hospital, and Children's Medical Center. They brought gifts, signed autographs, and posed for pictures. Most importantly, they spent time with the kids.
What we do at Children's Health is all about the patients we serve. So to make life better for children is our mission. And if the Cowboys can come and help us with that mission by alleviating some of the stresses of being in the hospital and kind of give them a sense of normalcy by playing a video game with them or having a chat, talking about football with mom or dad too, gosh, that helps a lot.
This is what it's all about at the end of the day, just to have this platform and have this opportunity to come back and just give a smile and just share this special moment around the holidays is everything.
These hospital visits began nearly 3 decades ago under the guidance of Gene Jones. The team's chief brand officer, Charlotte Jones-Anderson, was there as well, along with members of the Cowboys cheerleaders.
It means a lot that we can come in, especially when they're dealing with such a hard, issue, whatever they're dealing with. It just means a lot that we can come in and just take their mind off of it for a little bit, just make them happy. That's all we're here for. We're here to boost morale and be, spirit leaders. So I'm glad that we can come in and just love on them, and it's just great.
There's always an excitement for me when you go experience this with your teammates, and there was a little girl that we had opportunity to see, and to see her light up and smile on her face, and her dad light up talking about football, and so that's all part of the reason we do what we do and the platform that we have. And so, being a father myself, I know how fortunate it is to have the health of your kids. And so, offer a hug and a smile and maybe a high five goes a long way. And really, we leave changed, probably more so than the impact we make on them.
It's easy for you, it's hard for me. That's fantastic.
Linebacker Sean Lee, who is expected to return to the lineup this week, was among those who paid special attention to the kids at Children's Medical Center in Dallas. Kids who in many cases will not be home during the holidays.
It's great, and to see the kid light up and interact, really in situations where they've been dealing with a lot, and to see the excitement that we can bring to them is something that's incredible for us. But really, it's, like I've said before in the past, it's what they bring to us every year. Coming here and seeing this and seeing the perspective and seeing them fight, it's an inspiration.
Oftentimes it brings perspective to us that we play a game for a living, and whether we're winning or losing doesn't mean anything compared to a lot of these kids that are fighting for their lives.
Merry Christmas!
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
I met this morning with Jerry Reese and Ben McAdoo and relieved both of them of their responsibilities.
When the Cowboys travel to New York this weekend, they'll face a Giants team that's in turmoil and expected to be fired up.
Down, yeah, I would say that. Upset. It's a business. You got to always consider that as a business, and can't get upset about things like that. I mean, Coach Mack was a great coach. Looked up to him. He had great conversation, had a great chemistry, and sorry to see him go.
Fired up because it's Dallas and New York, and fired up because they'll be playing for a new head coach.
The #1 focus right now is to figure out a way to beat the Dallas Cowboys. I can tell you that. And each week we'll talk about those other things. But right now, in the midst of everything that's going on and trying to, with the changes and whatnot, little tweaks here and there, the focus is still going to be on beating the Dallas Cowboys.
History shows that the firing of a head coach in mid-season can have a positive effect the following week. A good example was a coaching change that Dallas made midway through the 2010 season when Jason Garrett replaced Wade Phillips. And as luck would have it, it happened prior to the Cowboys-Giants matchup just 8 years ago.
I'm sure every situation is different. Hard to make a comparison for me. Again, I think the biggest thing you try to do is lock in on what the opportunity is in front of you, and that's what we're trying to do this week. We're focused on us and what we need to do to prepare our best and play our best.
And a play fake and a slant to the post to Witten. Into the end zone, touchdown.
Special edition, presented by AT&T, was brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss another game. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass. If you missed any portion of the show, be sure to visit DallasCowboys.com/TV.